Johnny, you've been very kind to mention a couple times that there's this gap that you believe that Jim and LionsCraft is filling. And, Jim, I'd love for you to speak a little bit more about that. Like, tell us how LionsCraft and you are helping firms and advisors to shift from this, sales rep or sales focused model to being financial Sherpas through this life guidance model. And what does that look like in practice for financial advisors that are learning to make this change?
So we're effectively running workshop and training programs that we've packaged. Um, our large program is called Guidance First, and it involves both wholesaling or business development support. It's 7 sessions, 4 in person, 3 virtual, with full support of the BD's role, going and doing follow through with the advisor so that the advisor's not left after the caffeine rush of a session to go back and in their busy businesses try to figure out, oh yeah, when am I doing this? So you've got a business development role to help guide that. So we've also then built life
Hmm.
journey guidance program. It's still hitting at all the fundamentals, which is what's the mindset shift and the role moving from what I call generation one transactional, static, compliance driven to this dynamic walking with clients on the fly work. And so those can be either a 4 module or 8 module session. We look at it in a couple ways that Johnny was talking about. We first look at it saying,
Yeah.
so do they have the Gen 2 planning tech? If they have it, okay, maybe they're ready for something more robust. But there are firms out there that want to evolve but don't have the tech yet. Okay, then
Hmm.
we've got the lighter. Or we have firms that are just introducing the smart tech and they're onboarding with the smart tech and they want an intro model to complement that. And
Right.
so that's where those are coming in. So we're building that out for right now, they're in person, but we're going to be building that for live webinar based. And we're also going to be building it in the future for learning management system into firms for LMS systems. Because
Yeah.
the firms have to do their audits to say, so I'm investing into the tech, I'm investing into the talent. How do I maximize the opportunity for the investment on both sides? And I think that is what the firms are looking at. The advisors are looking at how do I do the right thing, be compliant, and still make money.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
afraid, they're afraid, is tech gonna force me out in the future? And
Hmm.
I'm saying that AI is not going to replace advisors and take away your clients, but other advisors with smart tech and generation two advice that are guiding like a pro, they might be taking your clients in the future.
Yeah.
And so that's where wherever you are on the evolution towards smart tech, and all firms are at different stages, I think both the firms and the advisors just want to be able to say, what do we need for this stage to be as prepared as possible?
Yeah. Now, Johnny, would you be able to share an example of how a firm or an advisor that you've worked with in the past has really used this new generation of technology to deepen that engagement and improve those client outcomes that we're seeing?
Absolutely. So again, when you look at, the firms that have moved, to let's say conquest planning and that we were helping, the an open mind. And you have to have buy-in from the senior leaders, right? The senior leaders
Hmm.
have to buy into this. We're going to make this switch, right? And it really is about not throwing away what you've done, but seizing an opportunity to say, okay, we've got this powerful tool. Let's align the marketing correctly to it, right? So it has to become a full plan of attack.
Yeah.
So align the marketing to it, go to the clients. Some great news. We have partnered with, Conquest Planning, whatever, right? But we've partnered. We're going to have this great campaign. So now the advisors are going out. They're going out from scratch. Like we're gonna create a brand new plan. We're gonna create, right. You bring in, and so you bring in, you then that's a legacy. We're gonna keep it and start fresh. and you're actually going at it. So you're bringing in all your expertise. You've got the expertise, you've got the relationship, right? Now embrace the technology because it is new technology. It is not enhancements to what's been out there. And
Mhm.
so embrace it and really take ownership of the technology, but do different. Do what nobody else is doing, which is so the people, and again, there's tons of success stories when we were there. Again, we were aligned to make sure we were helping drive the firm's needs, not Conquest needs. What do
Mhm.
you want to achieve? Here's the best practices. Here is what is working. What do you need? Advisors, learn from, like, you got to come in with an open mind, which is let Sam help you,
Mhm.
not impede you, right? And what I mean by that is, I mean, can you just imagine you have on your computer something that whatever the client is going to ask you, you have all the strategies available, not a bank or a library of strategies that are for all clients, unique to this client. This is unique to this client. They ask you a question, you make a change, and on the fly, this reprioritizes and rebalances on the fly. That now you can say, here's what's really important. But what you just told me, actually, some things have changed. Here's what now we should look at. And so this is power that they never had. They
Yeah.
had to go to the office and spend days of permutations to figure out, right? And so the success is, without, as you said, mentioning names, if you just look at the expansion of
Mhm.
Conquest Planning in Canada and now into the States, um, if advisors were not using it, it would not go that way.
Yeah.
However, I can tell you the math still is getting to that point where, okay, now what's next?
Yeah.
And again, that's where I see help uh, would be critical to help advisors. Again, I've done the plan. I've done the plan. Great. Okay. I've had some really good discussions. Oh, that's good. Now what?
Right.
I don't know. I usually have an annual review next year. Or if it's an A client, I'll send some hockey tickets. Well,
Mhm.
no, Toronto, you're not sending hockey tickets, right? Doing something, and okay, I'm good. But now things have changed, right? And again, if you're doing this right, that client is telling his family, that client is telling his friends, go, hey, you want to talk to this guy? That again, to me,
Yeah.
it's a time warp. Get me some help now. I'm going to grab it before everybody else because everybody will catch up. Let's be honest, right? The technology will catch up. Advisor will catch up, but there'll be more, and you're
Yeah.
going to be already in that mindset of saying, "Okay, I'm ready for what's coming next."
Yeah. Yeah, the referability aspect to it is incredible and so significant. While I'll say that I think an advisor would have to be a masochist to send their client leaves tickets. And Jim, I'll pass this back to you now. What do you think is one of the biggest trends that's going to define the next 3 to 5 years in financial advice? And what do you think advisors should be doing today to prepare for it?
So we do know that AI is doubling in power every 3 months, it seems. So that means 5 years from now, it's going to be hundreds of thousands, million times more powerful.
Hmm.
So whatever we're talking about now around strategic advice, management, and delivery, just imagine where it's going to be in 3 years from now. So
Yeah.
already it is almost mind-blowing the capability and enablement that it gives advisors. In 3 years, it's just going to be so much more powerful. But one of the things we're already hearing from advisors is, so how do I change? Like, what do I tell my existing clients that I'm now going to be this guidance model versus a sales model? What was I doing with them all in the past? And I think it kind of Johnny said it right in that with the advances in the last 4 to 5 years with tech and with society, the advances have allowed advice to advance too. Not just the
Mhm.
technology, but these advances have not forced, but allowed the cost of knowledge to go to zero. So your clients have the capability of coming in way more educated on any topic at any time. But the expectations of collaboration have changed. And the way you position that change and how you evolved is just we now have, in the last 4 to 5 years, the ability to evolve how we work with clients. And part of that is to be in tandem with the new smart planning and tech that comes along. The other part is to keep pace with where we need to take you. And for some clients, you've moved to a stage and a complexity level that is warranting that now, and we need to go there. The other part that I say to advisors, and it really depends on the team makeup, is you could have an advisor, especially on the risk side, that have 800 households,
Yeah.
1,500 households, and that's very different than a Wirehouse or an IROC or a Moneybase that might have 150 to 300 households. And so, how do you handle that? Can you offer this full guidance walking with 800 households and clients? No, you can't. And so, I think you still go back to the fundamentals of service modeling, which says you take your A clients that are 5 to 8% of your households or clients, your A's, your B's, if you segment it this way, are probably another 10 to 12%. So those A's and B's are 15 to 20% of your clients that are driving probably 75, 80% of your revenue. And then I say you take the top half of your C's that are usually another third of your business. So you put another 15% into there. So you've got a third of your clients in the top that are 90% of your revenue. It's not just a revenue conversation. What comes along with that is the complexities.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we have to look at the guidance of the advisor human touch and the smart tech stack as a fusion of advice altogether. So the low bottom 2/3 of that business, it might be electronic communication and tech driven. Here's a simpler version, and I know Johnny can talk to how these smart tech tools, one tool gives narrow complexity to very large complexity, a huge opportunity now. But as an advisor, you can look at it in your business and say, for the bottom end of your clients where there's less complexity, that could be a very tool forward and a very electronic conversation forward with a junior member of the team that is opportunity spotting for, because eventually those lower complexity are going to, through inheritance, through business, through something that comes along, they invest into the next NVIDIA, like, who knows what's coming at them. At any time, those bottom 2/3 could pop up to be the top third. And
Yeah.
so to have a platform that allows that vertical integration and build your model to seamlessly offer that to clients, I don't think we've had that in the past. I think the last generation of planning and tech stack wasn't from D all the way up to A, and even high net worth wasn't all in that same platform. It's either there now, or I think will be in the near future, where that platform is something you can use from your D all the way up to whatever your future A's are going to be. And then what it really means is, so how do you as a team, senior or multiple advisors inside of that team, how do you offer great service in a guidance model given the inflection points and the life stages and the life events that come along that change the complexity and the demand of that advice?
Yeah.
And I think it's now that becomes that fusion that we can think of differently of how to run that block of business.
Yeah.